I am Sommer Simmons. I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to read you a story that I wrote for my senior project class. It's called A Second Chance. I once knew a young girl. Her name was Brooke. When she was only a child, she was thrown into a world that most people could never imagine. When Brooke was only 9 years old, her and her older sister Amanda began smoking marijuana on a daily basis. Brooke and Amanda would throw parties for their friends when their parents were away at work. Soon, Amanda and Brooke began to grow apart. They would argue and fight until they would not talk at all. This gave way for Brooke to spend more time with her friends. It was not until too late that Brooke realized that these people that she called friends were not good friends at all. When Brooke was 12 years old, none of her friends were smoking marijuana anymore. This is when Brooke started doing methamphetamine. In the beginning, Brooke did not see this as an addiction. She saw this as an opportunity to bring her and her older sister together. While this was successful, Brooke's family began to fall apart at the same time. Her mother was having affairs, her father became very depressed, and her school life was falling apart at the seams. It was not long until her parents separated and her father was forced to leave. Brooke began being bullied at school. There was no point in trying to fight back anymore. She was jumped by three or more girls on several occasions. They called her names because of her drug addiction. When Brooke turned 13, she was beat unconscious in the school's female restroom. Brooke walked home that day unwelcomed by a mother who was too high to bear. Brooke then stopped going to school, determined never to go back. After 2 years out of school and on drugs, Brooke began selling meth with her much older boyfriend, Kevin. One day, a man Brooke and Kevin knew as their best friend forced his way into the house with a gun. He overpowered Brooke and held the gun to her temple. He took everything he wanted and left Brooke crying on the floor. After that day, Brooke lost herself. She devoted her days to doing meth and writing poems. But one day, Brooke took it too far. After being awake on a bench for a week, she overdosed. After Brooke's hospital visit, a sting operation was performed at her house. Brooke watched as her family, her friends, and her lover was taken away. Brooke was assigned a social worker, Jessica, who worked with her every day. Through numerous doctor visits, tests, and blood samples, Jessica stayed by Brooke's side. Brooke was admitted into a rehab clinic where she was to complete the 7-step program, anger management, and group therapy. When that young girl overcame her problems, defeated her demons, and realized who she was, that young girl died, and I was born. Sorry. After that day, I no longer went by my middle name. I went by my first, Sommer. After that, Jessica and I worked until I was healthy, and I gained my weight back. I went back to the 8th grade at age 16, to a different school. Jessica saved my life. She didn't have to. It was her choice. And because of her, I have realized that life is precious, that learning is so important, and with a little effort, anyone can change. I am 19 now, and next year I have been clean for 5 years. I did methamphetamine for 3 years, and it never goes away. Drugs never go away. No matter how many times you try and forget it, or you say no, or you walk away from it, as soon as you've done it, it never goes away. The cravings, the nightmares, they will always be there. And my goal for tonight is to convince at least one of you to not make the mistake that I did. And if I have convinced any of you, can you just please raise your hand? Give them a round of applause. Thank you so much.